Vega County, Kansas City, Kansas. I'm Murguia, and I'm the 3rd District Commissioner. I'm going to take you on an exciting and informative bus tour of my district. It's made up of 2 neighborhoods, Argentine and Rosedale. We're going to start at the brand new $6 million library in the Argentine neighborhood.
My name is Ramon Murguia. I'm a lifelong resident of Argentine in Kansas City, Kansas. I was proud to be a leading member of a community collaboration that worked with the Kansas City, Kansas public library system and schools to build this new handicap-accessible branch of the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library. To make South Branch Library a reality, the Kansas City, Kansas Public Library committed $4 million and asked us, the neighborhood, to raise $2 million from members of the community and charitable foundations. A tight core of volunteers spent the next several years meeting weekly to apply for grants, plan fundraising events, and figure out how to raise the $2 million. We are grateful for the strong support this project received from the greater Kansas City philanthropic community. We also appreciate the faith in us that the Board of Education demonstrated by purchasing the land and contracting for architectural plans when we only had a fraction of the funds in the bank. This strong community spirit is typical of Argentine and Kansas City, Kansas.
As we move down the street, you will see several examples of the way this community works together to make great things happen. Bonds is the local pharmacy. It has been in Argentine for over 30 years. What sets this pharmacy apart from others? Well, it delivers over 200 prescriptions to residents that are homebound, not something offered by some of those big chains we see across the country. The Catholic Church is physically small, but home to a large Hispanic population, the largest demographic in this community. This community takes great pride in their religion, family, and history. The vacant lot across the street from the church is just one example of how the Argentine revitalization effort started. In 1999, a large group of parishioners made a significant effort to clean up the area around their church. As you can see, the change was amazing. Shortly after this improvement was completed, the community lost their grocery store and spent several years working on an alternative, which led them to a farmer's market every Sunday for the past 4 years. There was no better location than across from the church in a beautifully renovated lot. Emerson Park is host to many community events. Silver City Days, the holiday lighting ceremony, numerous quinceañeras and birthday parties throughout the year. This event park has been bringing the residents of Argentine together for decades. The Argentine community can always count on the volunteer efforts of their local fire department. Several of the fire personnel are from right here in Argentine. This great group of firefighters' biggest contribution is to the Argentine holiday lighting ceremony. They make sure Santa gets safely delivered to Emerson Park on one of Kansas City, Kansas' shiny red fire trucks. Simmons Villas is a 24-unit, scattered site, affordable housing development for senior citizens. It is a partnership between Fausch Brothers Property Management, a local for-profit business, and a local not-for-profit called Argentine Neighborhood Development Association, commonly referred to as ANDA. Together, they are investing $5.5 million in this community with a greatly needed service for their senior population. The development will revitalize and repurpose 2 historic structures. Simmons Funeral Home, established in 1921, and the old YMCA was built in 1919. Vega Field is a local government-owned park located between Metropolitan Avenue and Strong Avenue on 24th Street. Recently, ANDA received an $80,000 donation from Ramon and Sally Murguia to widen and resurface the walking track and replace a very old and dilapidated chain link fence. Construction is just completed, and the residents are thrilled with the results. From 1880 to 1901, this site contained a smelting and refining company, one of the largest in the world. The locals today know this site as the old structural steel site that was in operation from 1907 to 1984. It was a steel fabrication center. In 1993, EPA declared this site a Superfund site. In 1995, El Centro purchased this property from Bank America and entered a prospective purchaser agreement with EPA. The EPA's institutional controls restrict how buildings can be built on the site. As a result, and despite El Centro's best efforts, the land remained undeveloped. In 2010, El Centro was unable to continue with property tax payments. In 2012, Argentine Neighborhood Development Association, ANDA, was approached by Lane 4 Properties about a potential development partnership to bring a new Walmart to the Argentine community. This project will bring a $9.5 million investment to a site that is 3 years property tax delinquent and took over 35 years to redevelop. Residents commonly refer to the parklet located at 24th Street and Metropolitan Avenue as the Gateway. Approximately 10 years ago, this parklet looked like an abandoned vacant lot next to an old car wash that attracted a lot of drug activity, with lots of calls for service to our local police department. The community again rolled up their sleeves and made great physical improvements to this area, and today, 10 years later, it seldom receives any calls for service at all. From 2000 to 2004, there were many indicators that a local community development corporation could enhance the quality of life in Argentine. Among those indicators were the number of people interested in buying newer homes in Argentine. Though much of the existing housing stock was in good condition, there was a market that was interested in specifically new housing. Many of the potential buyers had grown up in this neighborhood. As a result, the Argentine Neighborhood Development Association, ANDA, was formed, and they hit the ground running. They acquired land bank tax delinquent property from the unified government. With charitable dollars from individuals and foundations, they purchased blighted properties that were creating problems for the rest of the community. All properties were prepped for development, and new housing was built. ANDA is proud of the fact that their homes range in price from $150,000 to $180,000, and no home buyer receives any kind of subsidy to purchase their home. To date, ANDA cannot build housing fast enough to meet the housing demands of this small community.
Hi, I'm Marty Escobar. My wife and I raised our family right here in Argentine. I worked several projects here in the neighborhood. I currently resigned and taken on the job as Executive Director for Argentine Betterment Corporation. ABC work complements on this project, and we work closely with Commissioner Murguia.
Our neighborhood grocery store closed 7 years ago. Even though that left a lot of people without access to healthy food, and even though Argentine was officially designated as a food desert, they said there was no chance of getting the grocery store back here. Well, Commissioner Murguia took the task to call up all the familiar grocery store chains until she found one that was willing to move here, and Commissioner found Save-A-Lot. So ABC undertook the task to build a new grocery store building at 18th Street Expressway in Metropolitan. Save-A-Lot's grand opening will be late this fall 2013. The neighborhood is very excited about the new grocery store. They've attended many of the public hearings required for new construction and always voiced their support. Save-A-Lot has been great to work with. They are going to really engage with the neighborhood and promote healthy eating. Over the last 10 years, our neighborhood has really picked up under Ann Murguia's leadership. As far as the new Save-A-Lot grocery store goes, with Commissioner Murguia's leadership, the impossible turned out to be possible.
District 3 is a great place to live, work, and play, but we still have our challenges. Silver City Apartments were built in 1970s. It was intended to be quality, low-income housing. Over the past 40 years, it has been anything but a quality place to live. The complex is made up of 160 units. It is privately owned and subsidized by the federal government. The owners, who live in Topeka, fill the units with tenants that are not felons, their only qualification to live in these apartments. They receive a fair market rent check from the federal government every month. This check varies based on occupancy, but is typically around $195,000 a month. Many low-income complexes like Silver City have programs on site for their residents to improve their quality of life. Programs come and go at Silver City with no consistency. Residents are apathetic about their future. The surrounding neighborhood has a no-tolerance policy when it comes to Silver City Apartments. Across the street from the new Save-A-Lot grocery store is 3 acres of vacant ground flanking the west side of 18th Street Expressway. It is currently owned by the Kansas Department of Transportation. After much negotiation with the state of Kansas, the Argentine Neighborhood Development Association will be acquiring this ground with Ferguson Properties for future development. Including the Save-A-Lot and the La Plaza development across the street, these additional 3 acres will expand these developments to a 20-acre retail shopping area located at the gateway to the Argentine community. This area of Wyandotte County has not seen this level of development ever. As we move this tour into the Rosedale neighborhood, it is interesting to know that over the next 12 months, there will be approximately $70 million in construction going on in District 3. Welcome to Rosedale, home of KU Medical Center and KU Hospital. I've enlisted a number of community stakeholders today to tell you about all the excitement going on here at the Med Center and the hospital and all of the economic development. I hope you find it as interesting as I do.
Hi, I'm Hunter Harris, partner with Lane 4 Property Group.
Lane 4 Property Group is presently under construction on the second phase of the 39 Rainbow development, featuring acute rehabilitation, post-acute skilled nursing facility, and a first-of-a-kind collaboration between the University of Kansas Hospital and Skilled Healthcare Group, all above retail on the ground floor, featuring an IHOP and other retail uses. The project is all designed to meet the Rainbow Boulevard street front with the design guidelines of the Rosedale Neighborhood Association. Lane 4 spent years assembling the property and working with neighborhood groups for this first-class mixed-use project. Phase 1 of the 39 Rainbow mixed-use redevelopment features an 83-room Holiday Inn Express and Suites with indoor pool, all above 10,000 square feet of service, commercial, retail, and restaurants. The project is all parked at surface with some structured parking. Five Guys Burgers and Fries was the first retail tenant concept to locate in the 39 Rainbow redevelopment, which now features the 7-Eleven, with its first-of-a-kind walk-up express concept for the Kansas City metro market.
Speaking of healthcare this week, the University of Kansas Medical Center is informed that it will receive its long sought-after National Cancer Institute designation, opening the door to millions of dollars in federal grants as well as private funds for advanced research in cancer prevention, diagnosis, and treatment. Big, of course, for KU and chamber and civic leaders who have championed this effort. This is a huge win for them. But what about for the rest of us? What is the significance of this news story, Chris Hernandez?
Well, if you look at it from an economic development standpoint, as some civic leaders do, having this designation, if it brings in more patients from around the country, they'll come here and stay for their treatment, and they'll have to be in hotels and spending money in town. And it's also an image thing to be noted as one of the top cancer centers in the country. It's just good for Kansas City's reputation.
Because they think this will put them on the same sort of par as sort of Mayo Clinic and MD Anderson.
Well, the other thing is you do have Stowers here, and Stowers, of course, is getting a national reputation for its research. And I think some people you talk to in Kansas City do think that one of the things we might hang our hats on in the years to come is this idea of a health research, biology research center, and this designation probably helps that endeavor.
Welcome to the University of Kansas Hospital, ranked the best hospital in the metro and state of Kansas by U.S. News and World Report, ranked consistently among the top performing academic medical centers in the nation 5 years running by UHC, and now home to an NCI designated cancer center.
I am here to formally award the University of Kansas Cancer Center with the prestigious designation as a National Cancer Institute Cancer Center. Congratulations.
What it means is you look at the statistics, a better survival rate for patients who are seen at NCI-designated cancer centers. It means that people in the region don't have to leave the region. They can come right here to Kansas City for their cancer care.
We're going to look you over from head to toe.
Here at the University of Kansas Hospital, it's all about the patient. And because of that, we cared for record numbers last year. 28,300 plus inpatients, more than 500,000 outpatients, and nearly 48,000 emergency department patients. We also performed more than 18,000 surgical procedures. Our patients came to us from every county in Kansas, nearly every county in Missouri, and 49 states.
Patient care is why the 6th floor was added to the hospital in 2003. A central utility plant in 2006 for clean, consistent energy, the Center for Advanced Heart Care in 2006, and the Richard and Annette Block Cancer Center Pavilion and Medical Pavilion in 2007, as well as the Brandmeier Patient Resource Center. Patient-focused care is why we opened a new medical office building and a patient parking garage in 2011. And why we merged with Kansas City Cancer Centers to become one of the largest academic cancer treatment centers in the nation.
Our focus on the patient is why we added 7 new operating rooms with our expansion to the Indian Creek campus in Johnson County, and 6 operating rooms at our main campus for a total of 32 operating suites.
My name's Heidi Holliday, and I'm the Executive Director of Rosedale Development Association. Rosedale Development is a 501c3 nonprofit in the state of Kansas serving the Rosedale neighborhood, and we've been around since 1945. In our current incarnation, we've been around since 1978. We work on land use development, we work with the neighborhood groups, we work on business development and economic development in the area, and we also work with a lot of youth programs. One of the biggest examples of the use of a master plan in neighborhood development is the new 43rd and Rainbow CVS. CVS wanted to come into the neighborhood. We have the University of Kansas Hospital, we've got the medical center, we have a large market for a pharmacy in the neighborhood. But when they initially put the plans down, it looked like a suburban box model. So after months of working with the neighborhood groups, with the businesses in the area, with Rosedale Development Association, we collectively came up with a plan for a store that really matches the architecture of the area and matches the historical significance, and is also very walkable. This is something that you've seen repeated then also at 39th and Rainbow with the new development going in over there. And we are so excited to see that sort of investment coming into the Rosedale neighborhood. Another exciting thing that we've been involved in this year is the new bus line that was just approved during the August Unified Government Commission meeting. This bus line will run along Southwest Boulevard, Merriam Lane, and will connect Rosedale residents to the new grocery store in Argentine, as well as residents from all over this area to medical care, employment opportunities, libraries, and other social services. we're really excited to have this launch next spring, and we can't wait to get our residents to the places they need to go. We also were grateful for partnering with our commissioner, Commissioner Murguia, on this project, as well as the other commissioners on the standing committees that met with us and listened to us, and really listened to the people here in Rosedale about their concerns. One of the other pieces of neighborhood development that we work on is new housing in the area. And several years ago, we partnered with City Vision Ministries to come up with the Mission Cliffs concept. Mission Cliffs is a neighborhood up in the area of 39th and Lloyd that consists of single-family houses as well as townhomes, and many of them are owner-occupied. It's a beautiful addition to the Rosedale neighborhood, and we're excited to work with them on constructing a nature trail later this fall.
The last week of September, with absolutely no planning, 3 startup buildings ended up half a block from each other in the first neighborhood in the world to get Google Fiber. You can't plan that.
Initially, the idea behind it was to create a dense area of startups where we could all collaborate and innovate and see one another on a daily basis. But what it's grown into is more of a movement.
You had Google Fiber announcing that they were going to be bringing fiber here. You had the Greater Kansas City Chamber of Commerce announcing that Kansas City was going to be the most entrepreneurial city in the world.
So yeah, one of the unique things about being in a startup community, especially when you're a close, dense startup community, is the ability to collaborate and innovate with people right close by you. For example, the ability to jump across the street and talk about a programming question that you might not know about. There's an entrepreneur there, a programmer who can help you answer and solve that question.
And another thing about dense startup communities is what we like to refer to as serendipitous collisions. Lots of great ideas and partnerships come from unplanned meetings. That doesn't happen without density, and that's a huge benefit of what we're creating here.
I think for an outsider coming in, that if they have an idea and they want to come bring it to Kansas City, they're going to have a whole community supporting them before they even get here.
No one wants to be on the island by themselves, regardless of how successful their idea, could potentially be. And that's what we do. We provide that community background that allows the startups coming to Kansas City to flourish.
Some of the leaders of the entrepreneurial movement are what's called the Big Six, but also other larger corporations in Kansas City. Basically branching out, finding out what the best way is that they can impact the startup community as well as provide resources.
We have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity as a city and as an entrepreneur community with Google Fiber. Google Fiber provides an undeniable lightning rod and boost to our efforts and have just catapulted it at the speed that we couldn't have done otherwise.
Some of the people who've moved in have already been on the New York Times, they've already been in Fast Company, they've already been in TechCrunch, they've already been in just about every magazine and blog that really matters. And that's a lot of eyes that you really care about, looking at your product specifically.
People have come from all over to join this little small area in Kansas City, Kansas. And guess what? They have access to the fastest internet in the world through Google Fiber. And we think that if you put all those people together, you mix them with the right policy and funding ingredients, that their startups can really take off and can really have an impact.
We have a glimpse into the future, and it gives us an opportunity and an advantage. What does the future look like, and what can we do with it?
Again, no planning went behind this thing. We've got a number of startups here now, more on the way, and this is an opportune moment that we don't want to let slide by.
Well, it's been a long day, and there's no better place to end our tour than right here at Oklahoma Joe's Barbecue Restaurant. This barbecue place has earned local, regional, national, and even international attention for its quality of barbecue and its unique location, a gas station. It has been featured in the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, USA Today, the Denver Post, the Chicago Sun-Times, Vanity Fair, and numerous other publications around the world. Anthony Bourdain and the Travel Channel have also done multiple segments promoting this truly fantastic barbecue. In 2009, Men's Health magazine listed it as one of the 13 best places to eat before you die. Well, as you can see, the food looks yummy and I'm ready to eat. It's been a great tour, so it's goodbye for now, and I look forward to seeing you in District 3.